This is my audience. Thank you. You may be seated. Hello, my name is Soren Johnson. I'm here to talk to you about protective security vehicle convoys and how they work. This is going to be a general overview of security convoys and how they work. And this is part of my SPCO 151 informative 3D speech. Official definition of a security convoy is the presentation is being presented as a basic overview of protected security vehicle convoys and how they work in a high threat environment. Africa, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, just to name a few. They also do exist in the United States, but these are the ones that are most heard of. As well as in less threatening environments such as I mentioned in the United States. A brief overview of the tactics for movements, positions, and their functions and counterattack methods in light armored vehicles commonly used in the United States. For example, limousines and Suburbans you commonly see being used by the President and other movie stars and diplomats. This presentation, once again, is an overview of techniques used to practice important person diplomats, movie stars, entertainment personnel while traveling from one location to another. It can be anywhere. It can be in the United States. It can be in foreign countries, in war zones, other types of environments. Brief overview of my history of 20 years law enforcement. Worked overseas as a contractor, done many security details, been in SWAT, and also done diplomatic security and protective details. And that's what I'm basing my history on, from my experience. Convoys, vehicle convoys consist of something as small as 2 vehicles, and it can be anywhere up to 60 or 80 vehicles. It just depends on the situation and the location. Like Ahmad Karzai, the president of Afghanistan, he usually has 60 or 80 vehicles because that's what he's comfortable with. Most of the ones in the United States you see for movie stars are about 4 vehicles. President can run around 20 vehicles, just for examples. Convoy formations. This is your basic convoy formations. This one right here is a common 4-vehicle convoy. This is going to be a 5-vehicle, and then this one is ones for like 6 to 8. You have a lead vehicle, a principal vehicle, a cat vehicle, and a gun truck, and I'll explain those here in just a few. With the 5-vehicle, the formation right here is still the same, but you have a blocker vehicle. And again, later in presentation that'll be explained. And again, with the 6 to 8, you just have once again it's set up the same. You just have an additional blocker up here and additional gun trucks back there for more. That's usually for more austere environments, and I will explain that later. Okay. Convoys, the lead vehicle right here. Your lead vehicle is, you would think that would be the most important vehicle, but it's not. It is important, but it's not the most important vehicle. That vehicle is predominantly is designed to get the convoy from Route A to Route B. The person in the front is your team leader or the convoy leader. He's got the map of the location, the route they're supposed to go, where they're supposed to be, and he leads the team from point A to point B. He's in that vehicle. The principal vehicle, just like it sounds, is where the movie star or the person being protected, or it can even be goods, it can be diamonds, important documents, money, whatnot, whatever people want protected from one point to another. The CAT team. This is CAT, stands for Counter Attack Team. This is a vehicle with heavily armed personnel in there. There's usually 6 to 8 personnel in there, and they can deal with a threat, so if that vehicle should go down or get attacked, or if they have to transfer to another vehicle, these guys can engage or deal with up-close threats, almost like a SWAT team. Basically, you can imagine a SWAT team coming out of that vehicle and dealing with a situation. They're for emergency situations, just to get people out of there. And then the gun truck back there is just that. It's heavily armed. It's usually a very bulletproof vehicle, and it has usually 4 people in it that are heavily armed. But predominantly their job is to block these vehicles, or to come in front of the vehicle, the principal vehicle, and block any fire or threats from them while they're getting that vehicle back on the road or getting people out of there, and then they move. So this truck protects the other convoys if they have to do something. Again, same principle now, but you're adding a blocker vehicle. The blocker vehicle is if you're going to be doing a convoy and you have traffic areas and whatnot. You'd want this vehicle to, which I'll explain later on, he's going to kind of leapfrog. You know, he'll leap in front of the convoy, and then he'll come to the back, and he'll drive forward up into this position. He blocks areas like driveways, intersections, on-ramps, off-ramps, whatever needs to be done to keep this vehicle convoy moving so it doesn't stop or slow down. And then again, you have your 6 and 8 vehicle. All there is in addition is blocker vehicles and gun trucks. It's just because you might be in an area that's really congested, lots of traffic, lots of on-ramps, off-ramps. You might be in downtown Los Angeles where you might need a lot of this. Or you might be in downtown Baghdad and you want a bunch more gun trucks, because obviously it's not the friendliest of places. Again, I covered that, your 3rd vehicle, which is your CAT vehicle. And your 4th vehicle, or last vehicle in the convoy, is your gun truck, and it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, just whatever your convoy is set up. And I covered blocker vehicles, and I'll get into it a little bit more. And again, this is just a larger overview. If you can see it from the presentation, I know it's kind of small. You have your lead vehicle, principal vehicle, CAT vehicle, gun truck. And then there it is again in a 5 vehicle. And here it is in your 6 and 8 and farther up type of configuration. Planning. Planning is a big part of it. I would say planning is probably the most important part, because if you plan it right, you never have a problem going along the route, and you're never heard of and you're never seen. So planning is the utmost important. When you do a security vehicle convoy, planning sometimes is months in advance. Planning consists of, you have a manifest. It's basically, it's almost like, you know, going to the travel agent. You have a manifest. It's okay, so and so is going to be here. We're going to meet in the lobby. We're going to go from the lobby to the valet area. He's going to get in. We're going to drive to, you know, visit somebody at the Starbucks, 20 minutes, do a photo shoot, and we're off to another location and whatnot. But that's what your manifest consists of, and that's done with your client or the principal, and it's planned well in advance, so you know every area that you're going. Also, those areas that you're going to be stopping or you have to go around are also part of your manifest or your planning. That those are scouted out way in advance. Also part of your manifest is your vehicle convoy. Basically, okay, my lead vehicle, like we talked about, is going to have Joe, Bob, and Frank in it. You know, Joe's going to do this, Bob's going to do this, and Frank's going to do this. There's going to be a lead vehicle, blocker vehicle. The blocker vehicle will be on the left side of the convoy. I mean, your manifest basically sets the whole thing up. It's kind of like a football playbook. You know, everybody's in their spot and everybody has their job, and that's determined ahead of time. Other things to consider is your equipment, what the weather conditions are going to be, believe it or not. I mean, is it going to be clear and sunny, or is it going to be you know, 20 below and blizzards? That's things you need to know, because if it's 20 below and blizzards, then you need to consider snow chains and you know, just other things like that come into play. Road conditions, slowing the convoy down. Another part of the planning, like I said, is your manifest, which is your vehicle convoy setup and who the people are going to be and who's going to be protecting who, your equipment, radios, I mean just down to the smallest of things. Your part of your planning is now it's called your strip map, and basically it's a sketch, or it can be done up on a computer or whatnot, but it's the team lead, like I said, with the planning and going out ahead of time. He's gone out and he's determined a map. He's going to go, okay, I'm going to go along this exact route. We're going to leave the Hilton and we're going to go down A Boulevard to B Boulevard, and then we're going to get on ramp 3, and then we're going to get off on ramp 6, and it's planned down to the minutest detail. And then everything on there is what can cause the vehicle convoy to slow down, congestion areas. Things I covered again, your road conditions, bridges, intersections. Traffic conditions, speed limits, hostile areas, like if you're overseas, enemy locations, friendly locations, you want to know where police departments are, hospitals are at, fire departments, in case you need them, in case you need help or assistance. Basic blocking maneuvers, like I said, when you come to an intersection, this is a map. Obviously these are your security vehicles right here, got the little guns on it. This is going to be your convoy right here. This would basically be your lead vehicle, this would be the principal, this would be a cat, this would be a gun truck, and then this could be like another gun truck. But when you come up to an intersection, or basically another intersection like this, they can vary, obviously. But one of your blocker vehicles will move up and block any traffic from coming through and hindering or attacking the convoy or slowing it down. Again, you have another blocker vehicle over here blocking this traffic from coming out or doing anything to the convoy, and again at this location. It follows through like this, and then once the last vehicle in the convoy clears, this vehicle will fall in behind it, and then this one will fall in behind it, and then they'll continue on. It'll be a motionless action. The only vehicles will be stopping are your blocker vehicles, and then they'll continue, and it's going to be like a leapfrog type of action until they get there. Just another example, freeways, on-ramps, off-ramps, they'll do the same thing. They'll speed up towards an on-ramp of what convoys continuing along. This is mainly for freeways, highways. They'll stop. They'll literally stop the traffic coming from on the on-ramp. Once the convoy clears, they'll come in behind the convoy, and then they'll either shoot up to the next off-ramp, or one of these other blocker vehicles will take it, and then the blocker vehicles will kind of play leapfrog along the path until they get there. This is common. You see these more in the United States and the mainland. The roundabouts, they're really common overseas in Europe and stuff like that. So, I mean, believe it or not, this is one that's practiced a lot. It's probably one of the most difficult intersections that a convoy is going to have to deal with, because it's a circle and you have traffic coming in and out on all of them. The convoy, just like the other ones, except for your blocker vehicles, one of them is going to have to shoot way in front of the convoy and come over here and block this side of the traffic circle from traffic coming in this way. This one will stay blocking here, and then it's just like a normal intersection after that. It's just going to require a little extra effort, and it might, depending on the traffic circle, require 2 or 3 blocker vehicles. So that's why you want a 6 or 8 vehicle convoy if you had to maneuver a couple of traffic circles along your route. That's why you want more vehicles. Again, they would clear the intersection, and then your blocker vehicles would fall in with the convoy. Overpasses, they're just the same as on-ramps and off-ramps, except for that you have a high threat or something up there, because somebody could sit up there on the overpass and drop a bomb on you or shoot at you or just drive your car off of it. So the blocking vehicle, just like an off-ramp or on-ramp, he'll just come up to the overpass, stop on the overpass, make sure it's clear that nobody stops there or poses any type of threat to the convoy. Once the convoy clears, he'll come back on the on-ramp and continue with the convoy onto its route. arrival at the location, or your dismount, or your final destination. Everybody has a job and everybody has a setup. The vehicles will stop in a predetermined manner or pattern. Your blocker vehicles will, this right here for instance is a blocker vehicle across the street blocking something. This would be your lead vehicle. This is your principal vehicle. And if you can make this out, that third mirror, that's going to be your cat vehicle. Right back there, you can kind of make it out, that's going to be your gun truck, and there's other ones there. Obviously the personnel or the people in the cat team usually come out. It's usually these guys right here, because your principal, your person is going to get out of this vehicle and end up going to wherever he's going. So they're protected. Once they get on foot, it's basically, now it's a foot convoy, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff involved in that, but they're basically doing the same thing, but now they're doing it on foot. Once they're done with that, it's basically the same thing all over again. The person leaves the area, and they do the same thing back to wherever the person's going, their hotel or their home or anything like that. Again, this is a brief overview of what a security vehicle convoy is. I don't know if many people wonder, how the movie stars get protected and how they move from one place to another. And this is just a brief overview of how that's done and the equipment and timing and the training involved in that. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.